Weird video games.
Donkey Kong 3 is kind of a departure, most would say. So let's recap. If you've never heard of Donkey Kong before, first of all, welcome to our planet. I'm glad to see you understand our language. Second of all, please understand that certain elected officials and their actions do not necessarily reflect on us as a people, and please do not recommend to your superiors that we be placed in your intergalactic zoo museums under exhibits labeled selfish war monkeys.
Anyway, here's Donkey Kong. A carpenter named Mario has to rescue his girlfriend Pauline from a giant ape named Donkey who throws barrels. While this is not a normal everyday occurrence outside of certain Japanese districts, I'm not sure I can call this game weird. At least not compared to games where apes evolve from beavers, turn into beautiful women, or spit balls out of their mouths to save a princess from a giant hand. Apes are in some unusual games. Donkey Kong then returned in the sequel, Donkey Kong Jr. In this one, Mario has captured Donkey and trapped him in a cage. Donkey's son, Donkey Jr., has to rescue his dad. Yeah, Mario was the villain in this one. You can tell because of his mustache. Okay, that's an interesting twist. The plot, I mean, not his mustache. And now here we are in Donkey Kong 3. Mario is gone, and you're some complete other guy trying to shoot bug spray up Donkey Kong's butt. Now, here's the thing with that. First, I'm not sure this would be so weird to me if it wasn't a Donkey Kong game. A guy shooting bug spray at a giant gorilla, that's, well, but it being a continuation of the Donkey Kong franchise definitely makes it weirder. It's like if Halo 3 was about Cortana jumping over cobras in a Segway. If it wasn't a sequel to Halo, that would just be your run-of-the-mill hologram wheelie pogo game, but it's not, and now we all feel silly. The hero is named Stanley, and he's an exterminator. In fairness, there are bees and other pests he has to deal with, so okay, that's normal, right? But here's my confusion. It's in a greenhouse. I don't think it's Stanley's greenhouse because it's established that he's an exterminator, so he was probably called in to deal with the bees. Now, here I am thinking the owner of the greenhouse surely must have at some point brought up the giant gorilla that's also there, and Stanley was okay with this. Somehow between Stanley and the client, they came to some sort of agreement that bug spray would do the trick against massive monkey monsters. You just need a lot of it. How'd this guy get in here anyway? Let's look at this sequence of events. He tries to kidnap a girl and rampages in a construction yard. A blue-collar Joe with overalls and a hammer knocks him down, takes the girl back, and then throws him into a big cage as part of some apparent carnival-style racket to profit off of the freak gorilla that throws things and steals people. Then his son rescues him and frees him from the cage, and now he's alone in a greenhouse where some guy is spraying him with insect poison. I feel like we're missing several important plot points. What is Donkey's motivation this time? Is he just trying to hide from Mario, or does he have some nefarious scheme that involves breaking into a plant factory? A plant, if you will. What's his angle? I don't think people grow bananas in greenhouses, and I don't think Nintendo would make a game about Donkey Kong stealing cannabis. Personally, I kind of hope the plot is just that Donkey Kong blacked out and woke up in someone's shed with a guy in a jumpsuit trying to kill him with a 1920s split gun. Of course, the bug spray doesn't kill him. This is a family-friendly game. It just propels him upward until he gets his head stuck in a beehive. Or climbs through to the next stage. I guess that'll do it. Donkey seems to be immune to bees, though. Otherwise, he probably wouldn't be punching their houses in an attempt to ward off the Poison Man. By the way, how badly maintained is this greenhouse that it has not just bees, but multiple beehives in it? And snakes. And giant flies strong enough to actually lift entire plants in the air? And flying piranhas that eat rope? Or are they... What are they? What are they growing in this place? Is this some scientific research biodome where they're cloning prehistoric mosquitoes? How does Donkey Kong fit into all of this? It's like he stumbled into an entirely different video game. Nobody knows why he's here, only that he must be sprayed. Or maybe he's a freak gigantic gorilla because he was created in this same lab and he's just returning home to find that he's no longer welcome. I don't know. All I know is you're some guy spraying an ape in the bum with Raid. After this game, Donkey Kong didn't appear again for 9 years. There were a few rehashes of existing games with slightly different concepts, like Donkey Kong Jr. Math. And Donkey Kong for Game Boy started out as a rehash of Donkey Kong that expands into a gigantic adventure, but it still seems to take place before the events of Donkey Kong 3. The guy didn't even make an appearance in a different game series. Donkey Kong Jr. was in Mario Kart, but Donkey Kong Sr. straight up disappeared until Donkey Kong Country, and in that he was an old man. Whatever happened to get Donkey Kong in this greenhouse and how he got out are both complete mysteries. Stanley doesn't even appear in any other games in Nintendo's entire gigantic library. A library that keeps reusing characters such as Tingle, Waluigi, and Grumpy Guy in Town. I could make up a character myself right now called Ragtime Phil and Photoshop him into some old Nintendo games, and there'd be a better chance of Nintendo using him in future games than Stanley. Whether this is a story of Donkey Kong getting blackout drunk, getting lost, or going turbo in someone else's game, something weird happened to Donkey in this game that nobody in the rest of his games ever talks about or acknowledges. It's like it never happened. Only Donkey knows. I don't know what he knows, but he knows something. Something he won't talk about. That gorilla has seen some things, man.